Ulonga tabati yada tó yẹ kó máa da ifá. Inú tó yẹ kó jẹun ló fi bí pa. Ọbàtálá ọba takuntakun. Ṣàngó Èṣù Ògún Ọya Ọ̀ṣun. Ìwọ ló ń bọ̀ nílé. Kí ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o? Ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Greetings, this is Sabrina Zemi, and I hope everyone is well on your side. It is an honor and a privilege to be interviewing with Mr. Orisa Gbemi. Yes, sir. How are you today, sir?
Peace and power, peace and power, peace and power. I'm doing phenomenal. How about yourself?
I am doing excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm outside, halfway outside. I'm on the patio, so just absorbing all the fresh air. So I'm doing good today. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the opportunity, not only for this interview, but also, for the collaboration that we're working on. So I give gratitude and thanks to you, for the opportunity.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. So, the interview today is because we are actually going to be having at the shed, we're going to have a King's gathering next week. Oh, no, this week is coming up already. It's coming up on the 20th, June the 20th at 5:30 p.m. And it is for the men to gather. And so we just want to talk a little bit to the audience and let them know exactly why we're doing this, because first of all, it is June and it is Mental Health Month.
Yep.
And so it is very important for the men to be gathering. So I just have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
And so we can jump right on into it.
Okay.
So like I said, this month is mental health awareness for men. How do we convey, or how can you convey to the men what is the real importance about opening up? Because a lot of men don't open up, they don't share their feelings, and holding on to that causes issues as well, or concerns. But so tell us a little bit about why it is imperative actually, for men to open up and speak.
Well, I think first and foremost, there's been such a stigma that's been placed on this whole thing called mental health, especially in the melanated community. And so, salute and shout out to this month being Mental Health Awareness Month, which I think you had made that known to me in the process of us putting this event together. But I feel like it's one of those things that it's almost like taboo. Like it's something that is not cool or something that's kind of shunned. It's kind of looked down upon. It's kind of, or some people might be considered as soft, or you know what I mean, or might be somebody that just really ain't tough, or that like you got a weak mindset, or you're weak and things of that nature. So you don't have this whole dynamic of, excuse me, what it looks like or what it's perceived as, and what we should or should not do when it comes to this thing called mental health. And I feel like me personally, if you're on the planet Earth, you deal with something that is, attacking your mental health, and for us as melanated males, I mean, we're attacked more than I would say pretty much any demographic on the planet outside of the black female. You know what I mean? So it's like us, all the things that we see going on in the world, all the things we experience every day in the world, is something that we do need to take the initiative to kind of make events like this and to make conversations like this normalized. Because I mean, there's a lot of brothers out there suffering, and that's the thing, and according to the trends and statistics and things of that nature, from I think 2018 to 2023, the suicide rate was like, I think out of every 100,000 black males in America, I believe like 7 to 8 were, in that range of, committing suicide. And it's like this year alone, I've seen so many different stories on social media, or people that I know personally sharing about people who committed suicide. Like I know someone who lost 2 people this year from suicide. They were brothers. So it's like it's a, and I was thinking about, I had another conversation with a sister within like the last 2 weeks, and her I guess ex-husband, he took his own life. So it's like it's a bad trend that's ticking in the wrong direction in our community. So I feel like events like this is definitely necessary. I feel like it's definitely something that we want to normalize to make brothers feel like, comfortable. And I think a lot of things that I'm grateful for is the community work that I've done. I've been able to have a lot of different opportunities to speak to rooms of Black males to really just kind of normalize, but not just normalize, but just to let them know you're not alone. I think more than anything, that's where we got to learn how to, take advantage of the resources and the opportunities that we have within our community, whether it's going to get spiritual help, whether it's going to get mental health help from psychologists or psychiatrists, whether it's going to get help from therapists, like, you know what I mean? Whatever
Mm-hmm.
type of way we can get help, we need to feel comfortable and feel confident in being man enough to ask for help. I feel like as a man, it's not asking for help that's making me a man. I feel like when I'm in times of need and I need some help, it's like when I have the confidence and, the mind state to know and normalize and accept myself for being someone who needs to get some help and asking for it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
Correct.
hopefully, we can kind of shed light on that and bring a lot more awareness to it so we can help young brothers, or brothers in general, in this particular situation.
Correct. Correct. And I also just want to add on that the increase of the suicides and the ones that I've known personally, not me personally, but in my realm, um, they were individuals who were deemed to be strong
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about weak. It's just the fact that so many people are putting on this persona of being so strong and they're not asking for help and seeking for help. But we all need that. We all need that community. We all need that gathering together.
Yeah.
So that actually leads me to my next question
Hmm.
and segues into that within this time frame,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And we're going to do the gathering in nature, which
Hmm.
we'll touch upon that too on the importance of grounding and being within Mother Nature, the comfort of Mother Nature.
Hmm.
Um, but the fact that we need to be gathering in smaller groups.
Mm. Yeah.
What is the importance of letting individuals know that smaller groups? And I see some men are doing their things. I see some are popping up.
Hmm.
But what is the significance of that? What do you think?
I think comfortability, relatability, and accessibility. I would say those
Mm,
three things would be that would be my three answers. Comfortability, relatability, accessibility, because comfortability, it's a lot more convenient for people to open up in smaller groups. And that's something that I've had a lot of experience with being in the classrooms from high school. A lot of the high schools that I've worked with, I've done these types of conversations or these types of events, in the
right.
school setting.
Yeah.
So, and I remember the last time I did it, it was amazing because, and I might have to share some of that footage too, because I was able to get them to speak about things that they normally wouldn't speak about,
Right.
and it's a tough situation to have certain conversations with family members. Some people are uncomfortable. So if you grew up with a mother who wasn't nurturing or who wasn't the most, affectionate or who wasn't the most, communicated the most, you might not feel comfortable having that conversation with your moms. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us, unfortunately, don't have father figures around. And if we do, a lot of the time, sometimes it's not a positive male role model. But there's a
Right.
positive trend moving in the right direction with that. I can say I see a lot more brothers taking care of their families than, in my era growing up as an 80s baby. However, to get
Mm-hmm.
back to the question, I feel like it gives us the opportunity to be more comfortable with being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And literally being vulnerable enough to know that I'm not alone. Like other people deal with this too. And so
Right.
this guy's comfortable with
Correct.
sharing this, then I feel comfortable with sharing it. And honestly, I feel like that's usually how I'm able to connect with the crowd, with the audience, is because I share my vulnerability. Like I don't have any problem sharing about the things that I've dealt with, the struggles that I've had to live through, the being in the dark spaces, the times that, life was effed up. You know what I'm saying? Like things was really
Right.
messed up for me. So it's like, but I fought back, and I want to just let them know you're not alone. I done been through a lot of tough things. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a lot of adversity. So a lot of us have. So it's like, I think the smaller group really gives us an opportunity to be comfortable. And then by being comfortable, it gives us the opportunity to really just be at ease, to really open up and let, whatever's going on, let it out. And then we can kind of
Correct.
give perspectives or different types of strategies, different types of tools or techniques or, resources to help from that point forward for whatever that particular, that challenge is.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
Hmm.
sharing that.
Absolutely.
So we're speaking on men, right?
Hmm.
And we know that we also have the women who, when you just mentioned, as far as um, if you didn't have a mother who was affectionate, right? So
Hmm.
we have a lot of single households where the moms are the ones who are raising the boys.
Yes.
And and I will tell you from my experience, right? So I was a little tougher on the boys too,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and as in hindsight, now I know I could have been a little bit softer, but at the same time, the softness is the woman's side, and then you're trying to make up for the male side that's not there present on a daily basis or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
So, how could you relate the importance of or what is it that women can do to help our brothers, our sons, our men, to help them to be able to do that? Because women gather.
Yeah. Oh,
We've
yeah.
been doing that. That's what we do. We gather, we talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
we let it out, we release and that kind of stuff. So how is it as a the feminine force, as the mother, how do we help you guys out? How do we help? What do we do?
I would
What
say
would you think, just on your point of view?
the first thing I would say is support. To support, whatever's going on in their lives, or in our lives. You know what I mean? So, and that's one thing I'm truly grateful for. I have a great relationship with my mother, so I talk to her about everything, and I mean literally everything. You know what I mean? And she's always there to support. Like, she's very supportive. So it's like I can talk to her about, I mean, if it's business related, if it's female related, relationship related, children, parenting related, like whatever it is, I could talk to her about it. And it's like we've always had that, close knit bond and relationship. So I'm truly grateful for that because it does help. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things I'm not comfortable with talking to nobody else about. I could talk to her about stuff that I might not even necessarily want to talk to my pops about. And it's nothing against my pops because I talk to him about anything too. But like you said, being the mother as children, period, male or female, I feel like we always, for the most part, most people I know hold our mothers up, in a very high standard, in a high regard. And it's like, because
Mm-hmm.
the moms have always been, in our culture and tradition, the moms have always pretty much been like the big mama, the boss of the family. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where we go for the nourishment. That's where we go for the support. That's where we go for the healing or, whatever it is that's going on. We always know moms or grandmas or, they always have some sort of solution for whatever the challenges that we're going through. And they know how to make it feel good or make it better. You know what I'm saying? Sweeter. So it's like,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
support would be the number one thing that I would
Mm-hmm.
say. But then on top of support, listening, like just being an open ear to listen. And that's one thing that I take pride in growing with as a person, just evolving because learning to listen more. I'm a person who I talk a lot. I talk for a living. So it's like, when
Mm-hmm.
you do that, sometimes speaking on myself, you can have the tendency to talk too much, in other situations where you need to be listening. So one of the things that I
Right.
take pride in is just learning how to grow, how to evolve, how to be better today than I was yesterday, how to be better tomorrow than I am today. And
Mm-hmm.
part of that process is listening, like listening better. We got two ears and one mouth for a reason. So just listening, like really listening. And even if you don't have to say anything, just listen because a lot of times brothers just want to talk but they don't have
Yeah.
nobody to listen. So, I was
Yeah.
watching a show with the brother Michael Beasley. He was being interviewed by Shannon Sharp, and Shannon tried to give him advice, and no slight to Shannon, and I felt like the advice was excellent advice. But Michael Beasley went back out like, man, I don't need your effing advice. Like, I need you. I just need somebody to listen. Like people always want to try to put us in this category because he's somebody who is winning the battle. I feel like with mental health, but it's like hearing that exchange was very powerful to me because he really highlighted something that a lot of us might not realize. Is sometimes people don't even want or need in their mind help. They just want somebody to listen, and that could be the
Mm-hmm.
help that could really help
Mm-hmm.
them to get out of the space that they're in. So I would definitely say support number one, and then I would say listening number two would be the next
Yeah.
thing. And then just being able to accept the moments that we might deal with when we're dealing with somebody who's having challenges or who's going through struggles or what I mean, a crash out moment or what have you, but being able to still be there and love and embrace without judging. I think that's another
Without
thing
the
that kind of
judgment.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
the judgment I think is really where a lot of this stuff comes from with us not wanting to open up or not wanting to ask for help. So I would say
Yeah.
those three things. I would say support, listening, and loving and accepting and embracing without judgment would be my top three.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Those are excellent. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So I think I have a couple of more questions for you.
Okay.
So again, so we're definitely going to be having this coming Saturday at 5:30 is the event, which is June the 20th.
Hmm.
And it's going to be the shed has been created for it's a sacred place. It's in Brandon,
Hmm.
and it was created to have individuals to come and ground themselves, to be surrounded in, and I'm looking this way because it's right over there. So it's like, so it's to come in and ground yourself and to be surrounded by the trees, by the ancestors, by the birds, by the wind, and just be natural. So
Mm.
that's the reason why we're doing that. And so um, tell us, what do they expect? I know we're gonna have a couple of different activities there, but tell the men what to expect when they come on out on the 20th.
Got you. Well, what is the theme? Relax, release. What is it? Relax, release, and rejuvenate.
Relax, reset, release.
There we go. Relax, reset, release. That's what they can
That's a,
expect, to
yeah,
be able to relax, reset, and release. And a lot of the things that, we're going to speak about is a lot of things that cause, the rates to be where they are in our community as far as mental health. And some of the things that, I wanted to talk about, which we'll go more in depth, is like the high risk groups of people who are dealing with mental health challenges in the melanated community. And so to start, young African American and melanated males from 10 to 17, are dealing with bullying in school. They're dealing with
yeah,
the teachers, you know what I'm saying, like being judgmental or, just like targeting them. We're dealing with the police targeting. We're dealing with the
yeah,
absence of fathers. We're dealing with, bullies or gangs or, whatever's going on in the neighborhoods. We're dealing with violence. We're dealing with social media now. The social media, what I'm saying, epidemic is hitting the mentality and the mindset of our youth and our young brothers. So it's like those are the things that, all black males deal with. I'm 46 and I deal with those things, in certain different capacities. So, and then, we got the 18 to 34 demographic who are facing identity, crisis. Like they're trying to figure out who
hmm
they are, like who am I? What am I about? What do I stand for? Because there's so much negative influence on our youth, especially from social media, the
hmm
music, which I call genocide music now, the hip hop drill culture is
hmm
disgusting. It's all, it's warfare, it's spiritual, physical, emotional, psychological, and economical warfare. So it's something that we're dealing with in a lot of our youth, especially from that 10 to 17, 18 to 34 age range, primarily 21 under, probably don't even really realize or know the war that we're in. You know what I mean? As far as the
yeah,
attacks that we suffer. And so,
hmm
facing those things and then the pressure for those who are 18 and over, economics, the economy is crap. It's terrible right now. Jobs are hard to find. It's hard to make money. So now you have the pressure of economics and, your stability or well-being added to all the other things that we deal with. And then
correct,
relationship instability, so it's a lot. Grief, losing loved ones. So, and then of course the elephant in the room is the suicide factor. Like we have to
yeah,
figure out a way to be there and be supportive before they take that, that terrible, make that decision. Because, that's something that a lot of people think it's the way to end, the suffering, but it just creates more suffering for those who are remaining, after the fact. And then we also have
yeah,
a demographic with our brothers and
yeah,
coming back that are veterans, dealing with PTSD, dealing with, reintegration, the stress of coming back into, the normal society. Same thing with the brothers coming home from the prison, you know what I'm saying? The prison, the school to prison pipeline, same thing. Like we have to help those brothers with the reintegration process as well to get back
hmm
into, normalizing how to live in this current, system and society. So it's definitely a lot that, we have to work on, but that's why we're having these types of events, so we can remove the negative, stigmas, so we can help to
hmm
move, helping to give access to helping with the trauma, helping to, give access to releasing of stress, resetting from stress, all these different types
correct,
of things that we deal with. And this is something that's really crazy to me, but I see that there's a whole nother demographic of fathers who want to be in their sons or daughters' lives and take care of their children, but are
hmm
getting negative pushback and friction and conflict from the mothers of their children. That's a whole
mm
other dynamic that I'm not sure how many people are talking about, but that's a real one. I know a lot of people who deal with that. So that's another stress factor, with dealing
hmm
with wanting to take care of your child, but yet you have the mother of your child doing whatever they can to make that a problem. I just had a consultation with somebody last week that was dealing with something like that. So it's like
Hmm.
it's a lot that we have to deal with, that we have to figure out different ways to create solutions to a lot of these challenges and struggles and problems.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Perfect, perfect. And so when you say relax, release, reset and release, sorry,
Hmm.
relax, reset and release, right? So one of the things that I do is the sound bath.
Hmm.
And so that is, I will be doing that for you guys, because what that does is it, well, we're all energy, we're all vibration, we're all frequencies,
Hmm.
and we need to be regulating our nervous system. So that
Hmm.
is definitely one of the activities that we're going to have. So we will definitely have a sound bath. We will also do a cold plunge because the cold plunge resets your body. So we'll have some cold plunge.
Hmm.
Um, we'll also do some Reiki. We will have mini massages, and then we're gonna have and then you guys, because I'm just doing the sound bath and then I'm out of there.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm doing, and it's all for the men.
Gotcha.
And then you guys will have these types of discussions around the campfire,
Hmm.
so that you could do the bonding. Yes. So, yeah, and I look forward to my son being there because he's definitely one of those individuals who have uh changed the dynamics, and he's there for his children.
I sure.
And one of the things that I definitely want the men to get out of this is the fact that you are not alone.
Mm-mm. No, sir.
So
Nope.
when it is that you talk to someone else, when you talk to another brother who has been there, done that, and they can give you some insights of, okay, this is how I did it. This is how we can do it. Like, call me if you need to. Like, we need to call people
Yes.
when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
a real quick, hey, brother, I need to just vent real quick. This
Hmm.
is happening or this is happening. So that is my prayer and my hope that that is what happens, that we build a bond so that you know that you have somewhere to go. You
Hmm.
have somewhere to go, someone to speak to.
Facts. Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to that. Okay,
Absolutely.
so I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Um, so you also wrote a book, sir. So you're also an author,
Yep.
okay? Young Kings.
Yep.
And I want you to tell us a little bit about the book that you wrote. And you also have a poem in there that I would love if you can recite that. And after you recite it and the people hear the poem, in my mind, I'm thinking that would be a perfect poem affirmation for somebody to read on a daily basis. And then after you say the poem, I think we'll understand why. But you could also touch upon that for us, please.
Absolutely. So yeah,
Excellent.
and I appreciate the question. And I meant to bring a copy of the book in here with me, but I'll definitely have it for for when we upload. But it's amazing that how life comes full circle, man, because I was doing the same work that I do now back in 2020 when the pandemic hit. And so when that hit, it literally like put a major roadblock into where I was at in my professional life because I was playing, both with the corporate America, both the entrepreneurship cards all simultaneously at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just about to take flight and just leave the corporate world and go full blown, into doing the speaking, and the consulting world
Uh-huh.
space. And when COVID hit, of course, it shut the world down. So my little business at the time got shut. Well, I can call it little. My business at the time got shut down too. And I was furious. I ain't gonna lie. Like that was a time. If it's ever been a time, honestly speaking, and I don't even know if I've ever shared this publicly before, but if it's ever been a time, like being vulnerable and honestly speaking, where I really was like really, really battling and dealing with some mental health challenges, it was that time. Because that's the
Mm-hmm.
second time where I entered a business venture where the potential was sky high for it to be an extremely lucrative, successful venture, and then just
Yeah.
had the opportunity ripped away from me, right? So I took it
Right.
personal. I'm not going to front. I took it very personal because I'm just like, how is this happening? So finally, prayed on it, meditated on it. The, spirit came and did what spirit always does, is just being right there on time. And I feel like, being blessed with ancestors who are in the ancestral realm, grandmothers who still praying and protecting from the other side. They came and did what they always do, which is, they healed me and gave me perspective and gave me another outlook to look at take this as a challenge and an opportunity. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I've learned with life is like whenever those challenges come, and we've had these conversations off air before about just dealing with these challenges, but whenever they come, there's always a lesson in them. And so for the COVID thing, for me, the lesson was yes, the opportunity appeared to, disappear, but what are you going to do about it? What are you
Mm-hmm.
going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? Because all the part that had me in a dark space is like the higher self or higher voice was like, I don't want to hear all that BS. Like that's all BS. I don't want nothing to do. I want to hear that's all excuses. Give me execution.
Right.
Don't give me excuses. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay. So, just the way I'm wired, I was like, okay, I got to figure out what can I do with this anger, with this frustration, and with this sheer, just being pissed off. Like, what are you going to do with that? And I was able to, meditate. And I think, hell, using the theme of the event, I was able to, kind of like relax, reset, and then kind of just like readjust and reapply myself to life. So I said, okay, now, since I got all this time on my hands, I can't do what I love to do. How can I create something in this moment to still be beneficial as, life goes on? And I know we will get out of this moment. And that's when Spirit kind of gave me the idea of Young Kings because it came back to, of course, especially in that time, there was so many people dealing with mental health and so many other things. And I was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
yeah. So it's like Spirit was like, if you could write a handbook or a manual or a manuscript for young brothers who have lived life or went down and traveled down some of the same roads or paths that you have, what would that look like? What would that be? How does that sound? And then that's
Mm-hmm.
how Young Kings came about, and I spoke about a lot of things that we're talking about right now. Like most of it was centered on mental health. It was centered on, self preservation, self awareness, self love. How to deal with trauma, PTSD, how to deal with history, cultural identity, how to deal with economics, how to work in the community, aspect, how to serve and be of a resource or asset to your community. So those were all the things, and there's a few more things in there too, but those were the most significant, I felt like, speaking or teaching points that Spirit led me to be able to kind of create, I would say, that book and that curriculum to help young brothers in that, demographic that we spoke about earlier from like the 10 to 17 to maybe the 17 to 30.
Right. Right.
And then yeah, so that's where it came about. So and it was amazing because right after COVID opened up, I was able to go into the schools and community centers, and speak on the book and to be able to teach from a lot of the lessons.
Okay, so also I would like to ask you, how can people find the book? How can they get a copy in their hand to
Gotcha.
read that and to see the poem themselves before you read it?
I got you.
Yes.
So I appreciate it. So they can go to AfricanSpiritualityExperience.com. That's the website that's on now, so you can get you a copy from the website. I have it in ebook format on the website. It might be in print. I gotta double check, but if it's not in print, you can send me a message right through the website. I have physical copies on hand that I can mail out to you, and I definitely will make sure if they're not in print that I get some more in print to be shipped out directly from the website. But yeah, it's www.africanspiritualityexperience.com, and then all you gotta do is hit Young Kings, and it'll pull right up for you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, I just wanted to give the people just a little view of the trees of where we'll be. So
I
I just
said,
came outside
I said,
just so that you could see the peacefulness that is happening here. We had an event yesterday, so I do some cleanup of it. That is the campfire, and it's just really peaceful out here. So, like I said, it was created for us to gather
I
and
said,
for us to go barefoot and do and grounding and be in the arms of Mother Nature.
I said.
So I am so looking forward to that. Um, yeah, I am very looking forward to Saturday. Again, it's Saturday, 5:30. It'll be at the shed. We do have, we're going to put the link here. You can get your tickets from Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely love for you to close us out with the poem.
Got you. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, you ready for me to do it now?
I'm ready for you to do it
All
now.
right, cool. Well, if you don't mind, last thing I'll do before we do that, I want to just extend my gratitude and give thanks again for you, allowing me to be, a part of the interview as well as being, your co-host and a part of the event. So,
Yes.
gratitude, and flowers to you for doing that. I appreciate it because it's needed. And then we're doing it right at the right time too, Father's Day weekend. So I hear a lot of fathers out there say we don't get the same love and support like my Mother's Day, which we ain't never going to, and that's okay, that's fine. But we don't
Yeah.
need to because we
Yeah.
all need to get, the Mother's Day
Yeah.
love and
Yeah.
kudos. So I'm all for it. But I'm also all for it, brothers, us getting our thing too, man. So I definitely give thanks to you for having the vision and listening to the spirit or, your intuition to guide you to, create this event and to give me the opportunity. So thanks for that. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate the
Yes.
opportunity. And yeah, so the spoken word piece is actually titled
Yes.
Young Kings.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. You're
And so
welcome.
it's funny, I can't remember which one came first, the book or the piece. Um, I have to think back on that. I'm not sure. But anywho, this is the piece, Young Kings. Young Kings, do you know the melanated cosmic energy that you bring? Young Kings, do you know every breath you take, the soul of the universe sings? Young Kings, you are the proton and neutron inside the atom of this creation thing. Young Kings, you are the pinnacle of this earthly existence that we are seeing. Young Kings, you have a divine purpose embedded in your whole entire being. Young Kings, the whole planet awaits for you to start mind, body, and soul freeing young kings. You were born to teach us how to transform from a physical to a multi-dimensional being. Young kings, you are visionaries blessed with the gift of third eye seeing. Young kings, you interpret the messages that the ancestors brings. Young kings, you are the culmination of this heavenly and earthly unity thing. Young kings, you are the sons of the universal prime creator. So it's the creator's blessings you shall bring, young kings. Let your light shine bright. Let your mind take flight, because we serious in this thing. We call them young kings. So that's it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it. Appreciate it.
you. I shall.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, that is lovely. I look forward to this. It's bringing out some truths and it's bringing out some healing. And I look forward to this happening for the young men that need it. And again, I thank you for um, other people or other men and women are able to tap into their spirituality, tap into themselves, self-care. Ashe.
I shall. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. All right. Take care. I shall.
ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé sàpò ìyàpọ̀ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo sì ẹni gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors and praise your.